Hi, I'm Naria, and welcome to the next episode of the Naria Lemire Show. And I'm your host, Naria. For those of you who are new, welcome. I'm a registered dietitian, and I specialize in weight management, gut health, and overall wellness. Now, today's topic is a super popular one. This is actually one that I definitely appreciate. I wish I would have heard this years ago. We're going to talk about the weight loss plateau. Can be a very scary place, which I totally get. Even my clients sometimes get a little alerted when they're on that weight loss plateau. But let's talk about that today. Is it something good? Should we be scared of it? Is it something bad? What does it mean? So, as usual, let's start with a story. Now, when I was trying diets years and years ago, I remember getting to the point that I was doing the diet, I was losing the weight, and I was like, let's go, this is great. And then nothing would happen. I would look at the scale, I'm thinking, rude, why aren't you changing? I'll let it go for a week, 2 weeks pass, 3 weeks pass, and I'm thinking, I'm working out. I'm waking up super early. I'm working out. I know I'm burning a lot of calories on my workouts. I'm really restricting my diet. I'm not eating certain foods that I like. Why aren't I losing weight? What's the problem? And what would happen at that point? Friends, if you've done this before, guess. What do you think happened at this point? Well, for me at least, what happened at this point, I would just stop. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I would. I'm thinking all of this, I've done all of this, I'm restricting so much, I can't even have the foods that I like. I'm waking up at 5 in the morning and I'm not even getting the results that I'm looking for. Forget it. I am going to stop today and go straight to the taco shop. I'm going to go straight to get some. I used to love oh my gosh, the wings and things. Oh my gosh, so good. I still love it, by the way. There's so much butter, I don't have it too much. But anyway, side story. So then that's what I would do. And that's kind of like my previous episode or one of my previous episodes where I talk about the diet cycle. But that's what would happen there. The plateau caused me to stop everything. And why? Because I was not knowledgeable about the long term process, the need for patience. It was not. So, friends, what's up with the weight loss plateau? What do I think about it as a weight loss dietitian? Honestly, a weight loss plateau could be a blessing in disguise. It could get you out of your norm of always focusing on the scale. It could be, especially if you, for years and years, if you always give the power to the scale, it could be a good time to reevaluate the whole process of your weight loss goals and your health and wellness journey. hmm So many times, countless times, I work with individuals who are used to giving that power to the scale and come to me very disappointed. And usually, when I see the weight trend and I see the weight loss plateau, I usually can tell when they're going to come to me with these types of emotions. I've been there, guys. Trust me. I know how it goes. And I work with enough people that, again, I know how it goes. And they'll come to me and they'll kind of have that type of vibe, that type of aura of just kind of sadness, disappointment in themselves. And they'll say, hey, Naria, it's just, did you see the weight? Did you see the weight? That's the first thing they start with. But I never, ever start with the weight. Why? Can you guess? Because there's so many other more important things in that freaking scale. There's so many. And people after working with me for a certain period of time, they know that I'm not going to start with the weight. So hold your horses. I'm not worried about that right now. I need to worry about what's actually important right here. What's causing the weight to go up, to go down, to plateau? What's going on here? Then I can kind of understand of why, if that's an appropriate place to be. Because again, a weight loss plateau could be a blessing in disguise. So during these times, it's, hey, how long has this plateau been occurring for? What do you define a plateau? Because some people define it as a week or two with no changes. And let me be the first one to tell you that is just not true. That is not true. You have to wait a certain period of time before you decide to make changes. Now, during your health journey, it is going to be over time. Remember, this is a journey for the rest of your life. It's not something you start in May and you're done in December. No, friend. This is something that you really have to have a lifestyle. That's why I always focus on the habits, because it has to become who you are. You have to identify as someone who works out. So as someone who works out, what do? They work out. As someone who eats healthy, what do? They eat healthy, right? So you don't say, oh, I want to be like Cindy over there. She just so healthy. She eats healthy all the time. No, stop comparing yourself to anyone else, including Cindy, and you make the changes. You become that person. You are that person. So if you are this healthy person, what are going to be your habits and behaviors? What is your day to day going to look like? Right? That's going to be more important than what the scale says. But during the weight loss plateaus, it may be a good time for one to reevaluate your thought process in this, to reevaluate your relationship with food, to really hone in your knowledge of nutrition, what foods are going to help with your body composition goals, maybe more protein, what kind of carbs are you having, what kind of physical activity are you doing, do you need more carbs, less carbs, what kinds of fats are you having, how much fats are you having. Really build that strong foundation for nutrition. Really learn about the food groups, learn about the basics. I can't tell you guys how many times I work with people that want to lose the weight, and then I ask them to give me a difference between a complex and a simple carb, and they have no answer. Friends, like I always say, our bodies are machines. You have to know how to fuel it. Fuel it. If you have a car, you know what I mean. You can't just focus on the left tire and neglect all the other ones. You have to focus on all of them. You have to focus on having the gas, doing the oil changes, the tune-ups, all that nice stuff. Same with your body. If you were to do that for your car, why wouldn't you do it for your own body? Your body has a process. Learn what fuels your body. Learn what properly fuels your body. You can't escape that, especially if you're looking for long-term results. So during your time of the weight loss plateau, I want you to also consider this. Is anything else improving? Is anything, especially if you're new to the weight loss journey and you're taking it as a different approach, or you're trying to veer away from giving all the power to the scale and you're trying a different approach, I want you to really think about, hey, the scale hasn't changed in 2-3 weeks, but I want you to think, what has changed? Has your relationship with food changed? How's your body composition? Are you taking those weekly or monthly pictures? What's changing? Is your mindset around food changing? Are you more comfortable eating out with friends? Are you more comfortable getting that donut here and there, or having those carne asada fries here and there? And I say that because they're from San Diego. And by the way, if you haven't had carne asada fries, a must try if you come to San Diego. Anyways, back to business. Are you comfortable trying these foods once in a while, or do you still see them as good or bad? Friend, if you're seeing food as good or bad and you're only focused on the scale, you're still in the diet cycle. You're still in that diet cycle. And I know. I get enough times that, Naria, it's not true. I'm not in the diet cycle because that food is bad. Prince, I'm a dietitian. I study the science of food. I'm pretty comfortable with what I know about how the human body works and how it needs these nutrients. There's no good or bad food. Food's not alive. How is it going to be good or bad? Like I've said before, you dictate how much of these foods you eat. You dictate if you're going to have these kind of sort of fries every day. You're going to decide if you're going to eat out every day. You're going to decide if you have a high intake of highly processed products. You decide that. The food's just there, just sitting down, hanging out, doing nothing. It's not harming anybody. But if you decide to have them too much, then of course it's going to hinder your goals. But I want you to decide during this time of the weight loss plateau, what else is changing? And is this good for my long-term goals? Is it good for my long-term goals? Because again, we're not in it for the summer, we're in it for life. Okay? We're in it for life. So if your mindset is changing and you're feeling more comfortable with monitoring your portions, having those carne asada fries here and there, having that crumble cookie, chocolate chip, by the way, is fire, here and there, good. I want you to be okay with that. I want you to know that the scale doesn't deserve all the power, like I've said thousands of times, but I say this a lot, and I get so many people that still give the power to the scale. Friends, what did the scale do to deserve all the power? It did a whole lot of nothing. It's just there, right? So I want you to really think about what other things matter, because other things matter. Other things will matter more than the scale, because again, weight loss is the outcome. You have to focus on the bigger picture. So if you're feeling that you're on a weight loss plateau, it's part of the process. Weight loss is not linear. There's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be plateaus, and it's going to move along that way. But as long as in the long run, you see that trending down over the long run. In the short run, it may go down and then it may go up and then it may plateau. But if you widen your view a little bit, you'll see that in the long term, it's going to go down nice and steady, which is what we're looking for. I am never looking for a straight line down. That's a massive red flag for me. That lets me know that this individual will most likely gain that weight back. It not only gain that weight back, but will gain extra with it. If you're not being mindful again of your body will take it as a threat. I say this a lot because it's true. Your body just wants to feel safe, friends. Your body wants to feel safe. And if you're not creating that safe environment, your body's going to take it as a threat, period. Period. If you're losing weight too fast, what's going to happen? Most likely you're going to lose a lot of that lean body mass. Now, I see this a lot with individuals who are on the weight loss medications but are not working with the dietitian, and they're not taking the time to learn about nutrition and why they need protein and weight training. They tend to lose a lot of that lean body mass. And then they're like, Naria, my arms are saggy, this is saggy, but I've lost 50 pounds. And I'm thinking, what's your protein intake like? What's your resistance training look like? And they say, well, no, I just walk here and there, which is great, guys. Walking is freaking fire. So if you're not walking, start walking. But you have to incorporate that resistance training, that weight training. You have to really focus on those protein goals. Fuel yourself with those carbs, right? You need these things. So I do encourage you to take the time. And I know I say this over and over again, but I just get so many questions on this, guys, that I just have to say it again. Really take the time to build your foundation. Don't just focus on the weight change. That's not going to be your answer, right? So again, a plateau could be a blessing in disguise. It could be a time for you to say, hey, instead of just stopping what I'm doing or just continuing to stress over the scale, let me try something different. Let me try something different. And sometimes that different will be getting a coach, getting a dietitian coach to guide you through the process. Now, friends, the work is not the weight loss. You know what the work is? Maintaining that weight off. So when I hear people, oh, Naria, but I've lost 20 pounds, I don't need the coaching or I don't need a dietitian, the work hasn't started. Mm-mm. Friends, weight loss isn't the difficult part. Not usually. Sometimes it is, but usually it's not. It's keeping that weight off. That's when your coach comes into play. That's when your mindset has to shift. That's when you really have to know, why do I need to do these things? It's not like, okay, I know I need to eat healthy. I know I need to work out. I know I do. I know. But then you really have to hone in. That's when the hard work starts. And friends, I say this from my own experience because, again, I've been through the diet cycle thousands of times before. And was I able to keep the weight off before? Heck to the no. Heck to the no. The weight would always come back, just so flourishing and so excited to come back. Um, and I see it with the people that I work with when they don't take the time. Those who take the time to show up with their calls, to talk to me, to ask those questions, they're just so successful that I could just, oh my gosh, virtually give them a hug since my practice is virtual. It just excites me so much when people become aware of the need for these changes. So friends, if you're in a weight loss plateau, I don't want you to get scared. I want you to just take a breather and assess the situation. Does something need to change? Maybe nothing needs to change yet. Maybe you just have to kind of hang around there for a little bit longer. If something does have to change, so maybe there's no progress. If there is no progress in about 4 to 6 weeks, then hey, what do we need to change? Do I need to change my calorie intake? Do I need to change my macro level? Do I need to change my physical activity regimen? What do I need to change here? But again, a weight loss plateau may be a blessing in disguise, friends, especially if you're still giving that power to the scale. And don't forget to subscribe.